You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. I got big energy every day. Let's go!
And he is dicked.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's right.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin
Herbert on the move and throws and touchdown.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, hello again, folks. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Will Doug, sitting with my buddies, Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
It's Friday
night. And Kyle, the coach, Duggan.
What's up, football fam, Charger fam?
All right, folks, we've had a couple of days to get back to our normal abodes and try to recoup what electrolytes we lost over this past weekend.
No joke.
That 30-year-old recovery from a weekend like that with you boys is not fun one.
I'm legit right now, Thursday. I'm feeling like myself again.
Yeah,
That's legitimately where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was a 3-day recovery.
It was concerning when I got home and I had voiceover projects to do, and I can't quite hit that high note. all of my voiceovers are Dick Vitale, baby. All right, folks. Well, plenty to talk about this episode. Obviously, today is Friday, which means that we have an all-new, all-in episode on YouTube. It's not out as of the minute of this recording, but it's looking pretty.
We're excited about it.
Pretty
I'm
hot.
just excited to see how they're going to deal. Clearly, they're going to touch on both games. They're going to touch on the Cowboys game. They're going to touch on the Redskins. Sorry. Whoa. I caught myself.
Okay.
The Washington football team. Whoa. So I'm excited to see what Staley says to them, because it sounded like he was dropping some F-bombs in that trailer. So I'm just curious.
Well, yeah, and it's exciting. It looks like it's going to be a very Derwin-heavy episode. The last episode was very Justin-heavy. This one seems to be very Derwin-heavy, which is awesome because we haven't seen him for so long. Let's see a little behind the scenes of Mr. James. So
Totally.
Check that out. Those usually come out around 5 o'clock Pacific time, I think, is when they land. So refresh that YouTube when that happens.
Well, and they did something last week crazy where they were like, if we get enough people to retweet this, we'll release it early. And they released it at 3. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So fingers crossed they pull some crazy shit again and we get that early, couple hours. I'll take it.
That would be awesome. Also, just recently, actually, just yesterday, it was finally announced that we have a new Rookie of the Week. Thanks to all of you Charger fans out there.
Wow.
Who says we don't have fans? Are you kidding me?
Crazy, man. Yeah.
Man, I will take 200 hardcore fucking fans over 1,000 like wishy-washy bullshit fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know if you guys are anything like I was sitting there with nothing to do, stuck on an airplane.
Yeah.
Just refreshing. I probably did it 250 times. I'm not even kidding.
I'll tell you, any bathroom break that happened the last couple of days, it was just votes on vote.
It was
vote
just
refresh,
happening.
vote refresh, vote refresh.
I think that's the move moving forward. Every week, if you're sitting on the toilet, you better be refreshing.
You better be
voting.
refreshing. Yeah.
Get
I don't care
that
what
shit.
business you got.
Get that shit in, if you know what I mean.
Goo.
Ooh.
The stinker tinker.
So I haven't even mentioned his name, but Asante Samuel Jr.
We all know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Asante Samuel Jr., Rookie of the Week. Congrats, my friend. Good to see Chargers making it for the Rookie of the Week.
It's just our thing now.
It really is. Yeah, it's become our tradition.
I love Karen. She's like, okay, I just want to let you guys know now that you're probably going to mute me or block me.
Oh, right.
Just know I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for him as many times as possible and shamelessly plug this. So just get ready.
Right.
I'll let you know when I'm done.
Her and Jen
Love
both
that.
every time.
Oh, yeah.
Any tweet they had over the last 3 days, at the bottom, they put Pepsi Rookie of the Week, hashtag Asante Samuel. Like every single tweet they had all week.
Yeah.
Well, and then you look at we met Ashley at the game. Remember, she said, you guys are so tall. We met Ashley. She decided that she was going to give away 2 tickets to the the Raider game.
Hey,
If people, literally, everyone's kind of following those 2 ladies' leads.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, man.
It is awesome.
Pretty cool. I think she's going to announce the tickets pretty soon here. So hopefully you retweet. If you want to go find it on our Twitter and retweet that, because you never know.
You never know. Yeah, if you need tickets, that's it's an easy and pretty cool way to get your hands on them. Looking on over now to the injury report. There is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys on there. Let's see, started off with Joey Bosa. His injury is a foot and ankle. He has not been practicing. We knew that he got his foot wrapped up, taped up last week. So hopefully this is just rest days and not something to be concerned about for the next game.
We need to see him get out. Honestly, I feel like we need to see him out there on Friday. If he's not on Friday,
at least a limited practice or something.
Be concerning. Yeah. He needs to be out there practicing tomorrow.
So as this comes out, you guys will know. But right now, we have our fingers crossed for Joey Bosa at practice.
Right. Austin Eckler, blessedly practicing in full. His was also an ankle injury. I'm surprised it wasn't a head injury from that hit last week.
Jeez, yeah,
what a catch! I went back and watched that again. What a catch!
Yeah, such a good catch.
One-handed.
One-handed. Yeah, as Derwin said, he caught it like on the phone or something like that. Matt Filer also had an ankle injury, but still practicing in full. Chris Harris Jr. still not practicing with that shoulder injury. Derwin James not practicing on Wednesday with the toe injury, but got in his full practice on Thursday. Justin Jones also still not practicing with a calf injury. And Kenneth Murray, that ankle, I'm assuming that's probably what got injured on this last game, has been practicing in full these past couple days. So all in all, pretty promising. Again, I mean, it's that Chris Harris Jr., that's the one thing I think that's concerning now, just if it's more than 2 games. I mean, and we're going to have to expect Derwin playing in that other position again, unless they decide to change it up. I don't know.
We'll see.
Well, tomorrow's a big day for a couple of these guys. They need to get into practice on Friday. They're probably not going to play, especially Justin Jones and Chris Harris. If they don't get a practice in on Friday, I think it's safe to assume that they're probably not playing. Which we need those guys. We need Justin Jones for the run stopping,
right? Yeah.
And we need Chris Harris just to give Derwin some more versatility and move around a little more.
Absolutely, and hopefully Joey Bosa gets in a limited one as well. All right. Well, anybody that has been keeping an eye on Twitter, specifically with the Bolt fan base, and people like Karen and other big names out there in the Bolt fam community have seen what has been just the most adorable thing.
So cute.
Posted in Chargers. I'm going to say Chargers history because why not? I'm just going for the gold on this one. Go for the gusto. There's a person that goes by the screen name Yeti or Not that has been making these just adorable little knit crochet Justin Herbert little dolls, like just little cuddly little cute adorable little dolls.
The first time I saw them was on the way up to the game. And Kim was like, "Are you kidding me? I would buy one of those in a second for my office." I was like, I thought he was going to say I would buy one of those in a second for my kids, but no.
They destroy it
in the office.
I see how they treat the toys. This thing's sitting up here safe, nice and safe, away from the reach of those dirty little fingers.
Let's see. They put on their Instagram, thanks going out to everyone's patience while I finish up this round of little Herbie dolls.
She's calling them little Herbies. Little Herbies.
I've made some improvements to my process over the last few days in order to speed things up. These guys take a lot of work, but man, are they worth it. Hey,
go
for sure. Some love.
She has an Etsy, so go to Yeti. It's YETI or not KNOT. Go to her Etsy, and she's going to start putting more of those up. So I don't know if they're going to come too quick, but damn, it's like I'm going to wait for her to like drop the deadline. Like they're going on sale. I'll be like, let's go. I'm running to my computer. I need one of these things.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have one as well. They're too damn cute. He's got them in the powder blues and the yellow pants. I mean, what in the flow?
My favorite color combo.
Yeah, the flow
and the hair. Yeah, the hair is out of control.
It's so good. It is so good. So go check it out. All right, folks. Well, this next game that we've got is going to be against our division rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nemesis.
Yeah. So let's take a look at a couple of past games for them. Their first game of the season was against the Cleveland Browns. That's who they played in the playoffs last year. Let's see. Patrick Mahomes put up over 330 yards, got 3 touchdowns in that game. Tyreek Hill almost got 200 yards. Goodness gracious. On that game with a touchdown. And Travis Kelce, 76 yards with 2 touchdowns. So clearly we know who his favorite targets are, at least from that game, is Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. They were pretty comparable as far as their stats go. Cleveland was able to put up 457 yards. That's a big difference.
I think the big thing here is the rushing yards, and you look at this game and the next game, they put up very few rushing yards, and they put up 72 their week 1 game against the Browns, and they put up 62 week 2 against the Ravens. So, and then the Ravens put up 250, and the Browns put up 153. So, just looking at this and how close these games are, this Kansas City Chiefs team defense isn't what it was.
No,
you can clearly see that.
Well, and I'm looking at these stats here. It looks like against that Baltimore game, Tyreek Hill only got 14 yards, only 3 catches. What happened there?
So they shut him down.
Wow.
I think that's that. We put this in here just to show the fact that if we can lock down Kelsey and Hill, and just moderately stop the run, I think we're going to have a good chance. And we just need to score touchdowns. Like, you're going to have to score 30 points to beat these guys.
Right.
I don't know what our defense is going to look like or what they're going to do over the top. People have only been able to score 20 on us, but those people aren't the Kansas City Chiefs offense. So
there you go.
I think realistically, you need to be able to cover the top, keep the top on the defense, keep the top on those receivers. And then we need to get this run game going. We need to run the ball, control the time of possession. Those are just kind of essential things we're going to need to do, I think, to win this game.
Yeah, I think it goes back to Coach Staley. We have to do it our way. Like, we have to focus on the Chargers, and if the Chargers execute in the red zone, we score touchdowns. It's going to be tough because their defense just is it's not all that. I mean, so the Chargers right now ranking based on our production. Offensively, we're number 5 in the league, and we're number 13 on defense. The Chiefs are number 9 on the offensive side, and number 32. They have currently the worst ranked defense.
Get out of here
in the NFL. They gave up, like we talked about, they gave up 153 yards rushing and 321 to the Browns, and they should not have beat the Browns if the Browns didn't make a couple of bonehead mistakes.
Wow.
They gave up 250 yards rushing and 239 yards passing to the Ravens. So that was with Tyrann Mathieu having 2 interceptions and a pick 6.
Wow.
So it's like without some bonehead mistakes from the teams they're playing, they're 0-2, and it's not even like it's super, super close.
Wow.
So that their defense has not been playing, but it doesn't matter if we can't find the end zone and if we have penalties still.
Right.
That's what it has to come down to. If we clean up our stuff, we should have a great opportunity to win this game. As I went back and watched the last 2 games, I think when they're on defense, the 2 players that give me any kind of concern are their 2 safeties, Sorensen and Matthew. They're solid. Those are Pro Bowl elite level safeties, and they do a lot with them. They'll bring Sorensen and blitz him off the edge. Tyrann Mathieu does a lot all over the place in coverage. So find those 2 guys. I know Justin's going to be finding them every play to figure out what the scheme that they're in. And I think the other kind of maybe a little bit maybe less focused on attribute to this game is going to be Byron Pringle, the return guy for the Chiefs. He's pretty nasty. He's real quick. All the returns that I saw, he was potential to break one every time. So it'll be interesting to see what our special teams is able to scheme up to be able to shut Pringle down on some of those returns.
Right. Yeah. It seems like it's going to be a game. I mean, these are 2 teams that are both coming off of losses that are going to want to win. It's going to be in Kansas City. And so we know that how loud that stadium can get. And now it's going to be full. And
we were there when it was like at a quarter capacity.
Right.
It is definitely loud. It's like at the loudest points of, I feel like the last game when we got in there, it was really loud. And we're just like barely a step below how loud it gets in Kansas City. And they're like that for most of the game.
Well, and that is all Chief fans there.
Right.
Like it's going to be 95%, 90% Chief fans. So our level of loud is great. And I saw the little preview or on the Derwin mic'd up, like they were talking about, it was loud. But yeah, it'll be a good test for Justin, having never really had a crowd last year. This is the first big noise test, I think, that we're going to have so far this year.
Yeah. Big time. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they scheme, how they plan for this game, but it's coming up Sunday, and I am very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, and make sure to hit me up if you're going. I know there's going to be a lot smaller pool of people. I'm going to be there. So hit us up on Twitter, Instagram. Let us know you're going, and we'll try and meet up. I got a few pins left, like I mentioned last episode,
right,
and I want to give them out.
Kevin still has some goodies to give out, so be sure to find him if you are in the Kansas City area. My fingers are crossed for Tyler Foffey. I'm hoping that he can find
The
you.
Foffster.
The Foffmeister, absolutely. All right, folks. Well, now it's time to go on to our next segment. It's Bolt Insight, and it's another repeat, but man, this guy was just so good the first time. We had to have him back again. Had to have it back. It was a requirement.
And he's got such unique insight. So it's really, he got me pumped up. I was already pumped up and positive, and he got me even more pumped up and positive.
Took you up to that next level.
Yeah.
This is fresh L, and he got me like, okay, let's go. Where are we going? Where are we running? Let's go.
Okay, well, let's drink some Kool-Aid here, folks. Here we go.
As soon as that clock starts, your ass is mine.
When I met Justin Herbert, man, that dude is big as hell.
The goal is to just keep it rolling.
Come in hype because we have a lot of things to be excited about.
All right, guys, we are back with another Bolt Insight, and we are super pumped to have former Charger and Pro Bowler Hanik Milligan. What is going on, Hanik?
What's going on, my brother? Everything good, man. Glad to see you again, man. All was good.
It's so nice to have you back on, and like we're back in the football season now, man. There's actually X's and O's and players to evaluate, to look at, to do all that stuff. So let's talk about. I just want to get your opinion. Like, how does it feel to be, for you, you former Charger, you follow the team now. How does it feel to be a Charger fan for you right now this year?
It feels great, man. I love what I've seen so far. Some things to be corrected, but I'm excited. To be able to talk trash. I was, letting the Dallas fans know what's up. So I got a little bit flack from it, but yeah, man. I'm proud of the team, man. I'm kind of like it feels different this year.
Absolutely, and that's what's so interesting for us is like just the coaching change. One slight little move in a different direction, and like the whole energy is different.
I like that coach. I do. Yeah. I mean, I don't know him, but just watching him on the sideline, just seeing that energy. And it really it touched me a lot because I was like, they needed that. They needed that new school kick, man. Because if you think about it, it's about this generation. And I think that was just a smart move.
No, and I agree. And I think it's interesting with we were talking about the Urban Meyer kind of like treating players like college players versus this new thing that Brandon Staley has. As a player yourself, what is it like being in a locker room where the coach is more, wants to work with you as opposed to telling you what to do all the time?
You feel comfortable and you're going to go out there and lay it on the line for him. You're able to discuss with him how you feel and if something is bothering you and things like that. I think that's key because you want to have the players' trust. They'll go out there, they'll do whatever, little injuries, nothing will hold them back, and they'll give you their all at all times once they have that bond, that connection to you. I think it's very important.
That's awesome. And I want to get your opinion because, being a player, like the Cowboy game was like a brutal loss for us.
Yes.
You being a former player, not a fan of the team, like losses like that. Like I know there's a lot of people like listening to this, they had a crappy week. Like how did you as a player deal with the losses and like getting right back ready for the next Sunday?
I think just looking forward to the next week, get another opportunity to go and correct things. I mean, at the end of the day, watching the film and being able to go back out there the next week and correct your mistakes and work on those things, I think it gives you a lot. You're not going to be down that a long time because you got to learn how to have amnesia. You got to put it behind you. The next game's up. It's time to go.
Yeah, right on. And it's hard for us as fans because, it's so funny. I was talking to my brother about this the other day. Is we are so invested, but we don't actually do anything. So it's like this helpless feeling when the game's over. And, we tried to be as, you can tell in my voice, I lost my voice at the game, but that's all we can do as fans. So what does it mean to have, the support of the fans and helps you guys get to the next week and, be ready for the next Sunday?
I mean, that's key. I mean, to have the fans are a very, very big part of a team's success. And to have the fans behind you, to hear the roar, to see everywhere now the Chargers are back. So I think it's key, man. The fans are the key.
That's awesome. And then I want to get your specific thoughts on the new Staley defense because you're a defensive player yourself. it seems so unique and so different, kind of what we're seeing, the formations, the way things are lining up. Like they ran on us pretty well versus Cowboys, but we still kept them to like a low number. It was a very low scoring game. So what are your thoughts on Staley's defense and what you've seen so far this year?
It's a bend don't break defense, and you gotta pick and choose what you want to give up. With the front seven that they have, the run, they should be able to handle the run. It's going to be some gashes here and there, but as you see how minimum the plays were, they wasn't giving up like crazy, big plays like that, and numerous of them. So I like what he's doing because he has the athletes in the back, and then especially in the front. So once, it's the first couple of games, I think once the season gets going a little more, you're going to see it all gel, and you're going to see a big difference.
Absolutely. And then like the special teams, you're a prime special teams player when you played. Everyone's kind of like, they're still like have expectations for the special teams where they're like, oh, it's not perfect yet, but like we're seeing these incremental improvements every week. What are your thoughts on what you've seen from our special teams and how we're developing?
I see that you got some hungry guys out there, and I think they're emphasizing the importance of how special teams it is. You're not going to get on offensive defense unless you contribute, earn your stripes, go out there and give it all you got. As you see, special teams is the biggest part of the game.
It's exciting for us. It's just we're trying to keep eyes on all the details, and it's hard for us as fans because we start to look at the big picture like, oh, we messed up here, here, and here, but it feels like all these different areas are improving. What are you most looking forward to, like the biggest jump in improvement, and like what are you most looking forward to this upcoming few games of what we can improve on?
Just like last year, cut out the mistakes. As you see, if they eliminated some of the mistakes, the outcome would have been different. The kick wouldn't have had nothing to do with the game. So you can't blame the kicker because of what happened. You got to look at the other quarters of all the mistakes that was made in the red zone. How many times self-inflicted wounds, points on the board taken off? I mean, the 3 points. I mean, it's easy to blame the kicker, but I didn't blame him. It was unfortunate that the kick was missed. It broke my heart. But you got to look at all the other phases of the game, man, where we had plenty of opportunities that we left points off the board. So that's how I looked at it as a former player and a fan.
Absolutely. And then, the big storyline for this last game was all the really awful or the very questionable kind of penalties some of them that we received at the end of the game that called back some touchdowns. Like in a locker room, when you kind of, at the end of a game and you've been all the penalties and all these ticky-tack things that don't normally get called on you, how does the locker room kind of come back together after that? And like, do they shake it off? Is everyone walking around all pissed off the whole day? Like what have been your experiences?
If you're getting those penalties and the effort's not there, then you throw a fit. A lot of those penalties came because they wanted it so bad. That's the difference. Now, if I'm a half, going out there and I get a silly penalty, then you harp on that. But these are let's go get it, trying to get something done. So I'm very encouraged. And those are the things that you're able to clean up. You keep the effort, but hey, that's how I looked at yesterday, and that's how I know the locker room I was in, that's how we would have dealt with it.
Awesome. And then, we'll get you out of here on this, like this Chiefs game coming up on Sunday's game, a big one, first divisional game. Those are like, players always say how important those are. You see them twice a year, all that stuff. So what do you think it's going to take for us to beat the Chiefs this upcoming Sunday?
Do everything we did last week, just cut back on the mistakes. This is not the same team as last year. As far as us, we're better. We're young. You can see the energy. You can see the big change. Look at last year, right? Now, Cowboys, everybody thought, no, we beat ourselves, put that behind us. The Chief game is key. I think we're going to make a statement. We need to take advantage of the Chiefs' loss, just like we had a heartbreaking loss. Let's go out there, punch them in the mouth. This is a key game.
I love it. I'm excited. I'm going to go to the game. I'm going to be at the game, so I'm probably it's every week I'm going to not have a voice. So I'm just excited to go support our boys.
Yeah, but I love it, man. Like, seriously, man. This is real big, man. Just everything that you guys are doing, and we feel alive again, man. Seriously, last year it didn't feel like this year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a fresh, strong heartbeat with this Charger community, and it's really awesome being a part of it. So
that coach was a big move. That was a big move. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, for sure. And it's weird for us because we watch, the press conferences, and he is giving us details that most coaches are like, we're moving on to next week. We're moving on to the next team. But he's like being honest with us. Like, what is it like having, like, you seeing a coach like that? Because I know we talked about Marty last time you were on here. Having a leader like that, it's got to be kind of fun.
It's because it's showing us that he's not throwing the blame on it. It's us. It's a us thing. It's we, like, let's go. We're not making excuses. We're out here to go ahead and tear some heads off. And I'm telling you, what he's doing, you're gonna see the outcome. It's gonna be a good one. That's my personal opinion, and I'm very fired up. Every game, like last year, I was like, every game this year, I'm looking forward to. Seriously.
I love it, man. Your excitement is making me excited, and I didn't think I could get even more excited than this. So this is awesome.
Well needed, man.
Absolutely, man. So tell everyone listening how they can follow you and check you out on social media and everything.
At official Hanik Milligan, that on Instagram, and same on Facebook. I be chilling. So hey, you come and follow me. I'm more laid back, but hey, love the support.
We love it, man. We love having you on, and we're definitely going to do this again this season because
I'm here, man. So I for you, I got you. You and my boy Zach. That's all. I don't do a lot of these, but hey, part of I'm home team, so you already know. Number love. I'm behind y'all 100%, man.
We really appreciate you, and man, have an awesome week, and let's go get this W against the Chiefs.
Time to go cook. Have a blessed day, man.
You too, man.
All right, thanks.
You heard him, guys. Time to go cook.
Let's go cook.
So let's go sick. Tear some heads off.
That insight in the locker room, like how he can only reflect on his experiences, right?
Right. Yeah.
And knowing, like, back then in that prime, like, Charger years, it was, hey, if you guys are playing hard, penalties will come and go.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're playing half-assed, then we're gonna get on you, and this isn't we'll get them next week.
Yeah, I think hearing him say that, it made me think, like, this was an emotional game. This was a game that was our home opener.
Yeah.
That I know that you could see in these guys how frustrated they were getting with these penalties because they obviously they wanted to win. They want to win every game. But this was just that momentous of an occasion to be like, we got to get this win. We got to get this win. And I think emotions just took over.
The couple of penalties, though, like the illegal shift, like, that's not fucking effort. That's just being lazy. That's like a lack of effort. It's being lazy, getting in the line, getting set.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ineligible receiver downfield, when we went too far, one of our linemen went too far downfield. That's
effort. He was trying to go tear somebody up.
I give that one I could give.
Emotions were going high for that one. Yeah.
It's just we got to clean this crap up. Cut that in half, and we're winning a lot of football games.
Yeah. I don't remember how many penalties we had on the first game. We did have some pretty
10
questionable ones. Yeah, double digits.
We had 10.
So
we're like one of the most penalized teams in the league right now. So we just got to fix that shit.
Get it to single digits.
Yeah,
and then we're looking different.
Single digits. That's all we ask for.
We have what it takes to beat the Chiefs. I'm not worried about it. I think everyone's a little gun shy right now because of what happened on Sunday, but I'm not worried about it. I think they fully can come out and do what they need to do against the Chiefs. So I loved having Hanik on, dude. He's like the coolest dude.
Awesome.
And we're gonna check in with him more often because, just hearing former players talk about their insights. It's a unique insight that we don't always get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And talking to players in it, they haven't had time to reflect on it. So he's had time to reflect, and he's just a really awesome dude. So expect more from Hanik for sure.
So cool. Thank you, Hanik.
Yeah,
thanks,
thank you, Hanik. Can't wait to have you back on again. Those were just some great little pieces of information. Love to have it. All right, folks. Well, now it's time to go on to our next segment, Coach's Classroom. Let's see what we got this week. Class is in session. That's right, folks. It's time for another Coach's Classroom. And for this week, we've got a little texting that we do between the Duggan brothers and Coach Senior and myself. And he made a comment recently that sounded like something we might want to take a look at for Coach's Classroom. What was he yabbering on about?
Yeah, what was he droning on about?
He was talking about the idea of going downfield, and I had talked about how we had that penalty on Ibushi of going. We had an illegal man downfield. He was an eligible receiver, and he got past the 3-yard mark. I had explained how your linemen are allowed to go. They're allowed to block downfield until they get to 3 yards, and then they have to stop until the ball is thrown. And I had kind of alluded to that maybe that the NFL officials office is, hey, we got to start cracking down on these linemen getting downfield because of the RPO scheme. Because as those linemen get downfield, it becomes nearly impossible to decipher if it's run or pass. And so this Ibushi getting called for downfield, I think, was because of them enforcing not allowing linemen downfield because of the RPO scheme. And it made a lot of sense to look at it. And that's what my dad had asked us to, is because the Kansas City Chiefs run a lot of RPO. RPO, it's just an acronym for run, pass, option. So there's basically 2 plays going on at the same time. It's not like when you call 2 plays out of the huddle and then you line up and the quarterback checks to one or the other. You're actually running 2 different plays at the same time. And if it's up to your quarterback, it's up to Mahomes to make the decision if he's going to hand the ball off or if he's going to pass it to somebody. So, and there's the blocking scheme is going to have to allow for that to happen, right? Because these guys don't know. These front 5, those guys are ineligible, as we talked about, because they're both covered up. They're ineligible receivers, so they cannot go past 3 yards downfield. If they go past this line, they'll get a penalty like we did on Sunday. So how do they initiate some kind of a run blocking scheme while not going 3 yards downfield? Because that is why I believe the officials office is kind of cracking down on this, is to limit how explosive RPOs and kind of how unfair it can be if those linemen are getting downfield. So this first play, this is the first play of the game for the Chiefs. They already have 7 points because of a pick 6, but this is their first offensive play of the game. Their first 2 are actually RPOs right back to back. But you'll watch the offensive line as they get off the ball. They're definitely in a run blocking scheme. Normally, these 2 guys, these linebackers, are reading the linemen. We always read guards as linebackers. If they get high hat, so they stand up and pass set, like you guys always see those linemen do those little silly shuffle drills where they're kind of standing up straight and they're just shuffling one foot. That's an easy indicator that it's a pass, because these guys are all going to their pass blocking set. You don't get that on play action. You don't get that on RPO because they're firing off the ball. Now, they're not going to fire off the ball and go get linebacker because they would be 3 yards downfield. They're going to fire off, and it's usually a zone blocking scheme. So they're all going to start working this way, and they're going to let the linebackers come to them. So they're not going down 3 yards downfield, but they're definitely not sitting back in a pass set. So it's going to be all up to Patrick Mahomes back here to decide what's the matchup that I like. Is the box in a situation, or the box is outside the tackles to the linebackers? This is the box. What are the numbers? So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if this guy starts to leak out a little bit to try to cover up this slot, he'll hand the ball off. If this guy starts to get in a little bit too tight, he'll hit this guy on a bubble or a slant or whatever it might be behind. So his decision is a lot based on where these linebackers decide to line up. So I'll run the play for you. You'll see the linemen are going to fire off the ball like it's going to be a run. But Pat is looking at these linebackers to decide if he's going to throw the ball. So right here, he's got that decision on that split second. This linebacker kind of took off. Look, he took away this slant. I'm going to hand the ball off because now we got 5-on-5, and I like those numbers. So that all happened in that quick little bit of a second of they had he saw backer leak out, boom, I'm going to hand it. If backer had come down hard to defeat the run, he would have pulled it and thrown it. And we'll see that here on the next clip. Okay, so again here, we're going to see the RPO. This one actually is another run, but you'll again see the idea that Patrick is surveying the linebackers, what the box looks like. They still have their 4 and their 2. They're in a nub set, meaning there's no wide receivers, just the tight end. So the corner's out here, but you like that. You like those numbers. You're tight end and they bring in a corner for that number. You like that to hand the ball off. So he's looking right here to see what this guy does. Where is his alignment? What is he looking at? What happens when I snap the ball? Is he going to take off and get to his pass drop, or is he going to fly down into the box? So as the play starts to go, we'll see here, his eyes, boom, he started to back out. We see that linebacker start to back out. Instantly, they're going to hand the ball off. Now, this in the running game, it doesn't matter how far you go downfield. It doesn't matter what's happening with the offensive line. It's when this RPO turns into a pass, that's when it becomes a big deal. You see, all the offensive line, they were staying there at that 3 yards for the first 1, 2, 3 seconds so Mahomes can make his decision. But then as they know, okay, it's run or the ball's already out of his hand, we can start to work our way downfield. All right, and this is the last play we'll look at again on run pass option RPO. You'll see the offensive line, all these guys are going to start working this way so that if this handoff happens, we have a zone blocking scheme this way. But these 3 guys are doing their own thing. They don't care if the ball gets handed off that way, off to the right, because it doesn't matter to them. So these linemen these wide receivers are going to come out and block, and they're running a screen for this tight end. That's what the play. There's 2 plays going on at once. They either have this quick dump to the tight end, or they have the zone run to the right. And those are both. All those blocking schemes are going on at the same time, and it's up to Mahomes to decide. Now, as we look at numbers, which is what he's looking at, you only have 1, 2, 3. You have your 4 down linemen. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive linemen. And then you have these 2 guys here in the box. So Mahomes is looking right here. This is the guy that's going to decide if he's going to give it on the run or pass it for the pass. So you have 1, 2 blocking 1, 2. So it all comes down to this guy and what he decides to do. Now, if he's lined up a little bit too far inside, or this mismatch is just that bad. So for instance, if he just has that much trust in 83 to be able to get open, and this guy can't get him in the open field, then he's going to take that right away. So I want you to watch. I'm going to run it through. You'll see Mahomes already made up his mind. So if you're watching this and you don't know that it's RPO, it looks like he's just throwing the ball to 83 right away. Because as that motion happened, he's already decided this is where I want to go with the ball. So I'll run it through one time so you can just see really quick. He's already decided, boom, that fake
Just
wasn't even really
shimmy.
a fake to the running back. It was almost just like, as soon as that ball snapped, I know where I'm going. And so now we have everybody's blocked up. He's going to come around here. I'm sorry, it wasn't to the tight end. It was a quick screen out here. And 83 is going to lead up. But he's saying number 4 is not going to be able to get him an open field, and we're going to have a positive play. So that's where the RPO comes in. But I will run it again one more time through to show you this is one of the few plays that I saw that Kansas City was starting to get close on that, getting downfield, getting close to 3 yards. So if you watch this right side of the line, they don't know if it's run or pass. So they're blocking run. Watch this right side of the line as the ball's thrown. They're starting to get up to linebacker, and it gets real close. To if Mahomes had held on to this for another 1 or 2 seconds, I think this play specifically is why the NFL is looking to try to really come down on linemen getting downfield. Watch the right side of the line here. So boom, this guy here is getting close already.
By him, yeah.
It's almost instantly he's at 2 yards. That's 1, 2, right? So he's right there on the border. If that wouldn't have been such a quick decision, he could have been close to that being downfield and having that ineligible man downfield. So that's what I think is the idea behind why that dumb call was made on the Chargers that turned out to be pretty catastrophic for us. On the flip side, looking at the Chiefs and watching this RPO, it's going to be big time for our linebackers. And those numbers in the box, right? We only have 3 down linemen a lot of the time. So it's going to be really looking at those numbers and seeing what the mismatches are, what the Chiefs, what they really like, because most of the time our linebackers are fast enough to be able to defeat these quick little pop passes. But one thing to watch is what their alignment is. Not Kenneth Murray all the time, but those other linebackers, the Kaiser Whites. How far is he cheating out to that number 2 receiver? How tight is he in the box in here? Or is he starting to cheat out here to really take away those RPOs and force them to give? And that's the Chiefs have not had an extremely successful run game so far. So I anticipate our defense playing a little wider, forcing them to run and us coming down hard once that ball is given.
Interesting. Just out of curiosity, because as you're going through this, it made me wonder, when it comes to those RPO type plays, and the concern is for linemen to not get 3 yards out, obviously they can't like look back and be like, hey, did you throw it yet? Like,
right.
Is that a timing thing, or what is is there a signal or something that they look for?
No. So any RPO is going to be a quick pass. You're not going to get an RPO that's a deep ball downfield.
Okay.
That quarterback has to get the ball off in 1/1002, and it has to be gone, or else they're going to start to get downfield. So as a quarterback, all the RPOs, it's either a run or a really quick short underneath pass. And that's what you see the Chiefs be really successful. That's why Tyreek Hill and the Pringle, these fast, really quick guys, you just get the ball in their hands and let them go. That's what the RPO is designed for. Really good slant guys, these bubble screen type guys, like what you're seeing in this play here.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah, we saw in this last game that clearly Brandon Staley wanted to stop the pass game, and we held Dak to no touchdowns on this last game. So it wouldn't surprise me if they are still in that same kind of mindset, and like you just said, where they're kind of defending the pass and then come down hard on the run if it happens to be that way. We'll find out. But hey, Coach, thank you for shedding some more light on this game of football and educating dum-dums like myself. One episode at a time, folks. That's all we can do. Baby steps. All right, folks. Well, one more segment before we finish up this episode. We got to go back to the old well of Mike Modlin to give us a little bit of Bolt history. Let's see what he's got lined up for today.
What's up, Bolt Gang? Your boy is back with another installment of Bolt History. This time we're going to be talking about my most personal Chargers story that I can even remember. We are going back to September 14th, 2008. And at that time, a lot of you probably remember, we Charger fans communicated via internet message boards on Charger fan websites, on Chargers.com. You name it, there were a bunch of them out there. The one that I was a primary member of was called Glorify the Past. Shout out to Scott Scherer, who used to run that site. And at the time, I was writing the pregame articles for Glorify the Past, and they ended up getting in partnership with KLAC AM Radio 560 out of Los Angeles. And so I suddenly became the Midwest beat reporter for the Chargers for KLAC. And the first assignment that they had me go to was the Chargers at Broncos on September 14th, 2008. Now, the cool thing is that a lot of the message board members were at the tailgate prior to the game, and they totally treated me like royalty, knowing that I was going to be in the press box that day and interviewing the players after the game in the locker room and all that. So it was really neat. But one of the things that was kind of challenging was that I was not allowed to show in any way, shape, or form that I was a Charger fan. So I ended up wearing a Chargers t-shirt underneath my suit to try to skirt the rules and have my fandom still present there at Invesco Field. The press box was unbelievable as well. I got to meet San Diego legends like Larry Himmel and Hank Bauer, and the food was amazing, and we were in control of the game for most of the game. We were leading at halftime 24-6, and there was an omen in the first half that probably would have been a good indicator of how this game was going to go. On the Chargers' first possession on second down, Phillip Rivers throws a short pass to Chris Chambers. Chris Chambers catches it, gets down on the 29-yard line, and Champ Bailey strips him of the ball. The Broncos recover the fumble. Looking at the replay, it was obvious that Chris Chambers' elbow was down before the ball came out. And so Dick Enberg and Randy Cross, the announcers at the time, looked at the replay. We were all looking at it in the stadium on the big screen, and it was pretty obvious that it was not a fumble. Ed Hockley was the referee that game, and I think you probably have all heard of the infamous Hockley game. This is what I'm referring to right now, that game was this game. The Chargers go to challenge the play, but the replay equipment wasn't working. And they only had 2 minutes to complete the review, and the delay took more than 2 minutes. So Ed Hockley made the decision that the call on the field would stand, even though everybody in the stadium and watching on TV saw that it was not a fumble. That was one of the first ways that we got screwed in that game. And coincidentally, later on in the game, when the Broncos went to challenge a play, all of a sudden the replay equipment was working. The game was going pretty well for us. We were up 24-6 at halftime. Then we go into the second half, and towards the end of the game, this is the one that everybody remembers, who was watching back then anyway. They were on the Broncos were down 38-31. There was 1 minute 14 seconds left in the game. and the Broncos have the ball on our 1 yard line. So they're about to score. Jay Cutler drops back to pass. And as his arm goes back, he drops the ball at the back end of his release. And then Tim Dobbins recovers the fumble. So it should have been Chargers ball, and we could have ran out the clock to win the game. But what happened was when Jay Cutler dropped back and the ball falls out of his hands, Ed Hockley inadvertently blew the whistle, calling the play dead. So there was no fumble. Broncos get the ball. They score a touchdown. They score a 2-point conversion and win the game. Now I have to go into the locker room to interview all these guys who are completely pissed off for my first time doing any kind of NFL media. And I was severely intimidated because you have all these large men who are extremely pissed off that they just had a game ripped out of their hands. Really, it was a travesty. In fact, it was so much of a travesty that Ed Hockley, after the game, was emailing fans who were complaining at him about that bad call. And he answered every single email, good or bad, which most of them were obviously bad. But he spent that entire afternoon and evening answering every single email that came in about this call. So I go down to the locker room, and the first person I happen to meet is Hank Bauer. And I asked Hank Bauer, I said, so what do you think about us getting jobbed like that? And Hank screams at the top of his lungs, worst job ever. So I go into the locker room with Hank, and I'm walking in, and it was like somebody had just slapped a hive of hornets with a baseball bat, the way the players were walking around in that locker room. And I ended up getting jostled and knocked down by both Norv Turner and Phillip Rivers because everybody was just pacing around in there angrily, and I was trying to find my way. It was my first time. I didn't know really what I was supposed to be doing. And so I just started interviewing players that weren't getting interviewed by someone else. And I ended up getting to interview Giles Tucker, Antoine Applewhite, Brandon Seiler, Mike Tolbert, Jacob Hester, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Igor Olshansky. And in fact, Igor Olshansky ended up walking me out of the locker room and showed me how to get out of the stadium. So that was kind of a neat touch. But that was probably the craziest experience for me as a Charger fan and as any type of reporting situation, just because it was so crazy in that locker room. And those guys were seriously intense. I cannot even describe to you what it was like outside of me having been a correctional officer before and seeing a bunch of guys in a prison riot. That was probably the closest thing I've had to that. But the great thing was that I made a lot of friends, and I had that incredible experience. And what I would like to leave you with is a random fun fact about the Chargers, because I don't want to end on that horrible note of that bad call. But one of the cool things that you may not have known about the Chargers is that they were the first team to have a colored face mask. Back in, I believe it was 1973, the head coach, Harlan Sfair, went to the equipment manager, Sid Brooks, and he said, I want a tougher look for our uniforms than this powder blue stuff. So that's when they came up with the concept of the Navy uniform. They kind of wanted it to look more like the Giants. And so they designed a blue helmet, but the blue wasn't coming through. So they invented a way to do a transparency on the helmet to bring more of the blue out. And they didn't like the way the gray face masks looked with the blue helmet. But the gray face mask was the only face mask out there from high school sports all the way through to the pros. Everybody had gray face masks. So they wanted to create this yellow face mask to go with the dark blue helmet. And they ended up finding a dentist because none of the sporting equipment companies, none of the helmet makers were able to do a color outside of gray. So they turned to a dentist named Dr. Dungard, who actually painted or used a dental process actually to paint or coat the face masks with a yellow color, and then they would end up hand painting them the rest of the way. And they were so popular that, of course, the next year, everybody wanted a colored face mask, and the rest is history. So you can also thank your Los Angeles Chargers for colored face masks in the National Football League. That'll do it for this installment of Bolt History. Remember to stay bolted. Okay, love you, bye.
Well, goodness
Mike.
gracious, Mike.
So good, dude. I look forward to this segment every 2 weeks he comes on.
Yeah.
He just gives us some great shit. And it was perfect timing for all this bullshit about referees and bad calls and taking games away. It was just perfect timing for that.
Wow. Yeah. What a thought to have a penalty not get overturned due to technical difficulties.
That's such BS.
Like, what a weird concept.
But it goes back to like how many games wouldn't have gone the way they did without like the ability to review plays. You know, like before that was an option.
Right. Yeah.
How many games got messed up because of terrible refereeing calls?
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah. Well, and also just great to hear about the whole face mask thing. Like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty rad. Like who knew that was like
your cap.
Right. Of us just wanting a tougher look, wanting something to pop, something to stand out, and pretty damn way to go about doing it, I must say.
Yeah.
And the one thing I found really interesting that he was talking about Ed Hockley during this 2008 game. For Sunday, the head ref for our game is Sean Hockley.
Oh, jeez.
His son.
Oh, God.
So let's just hope, as Kyle and I are, we're better than our father, and we're gonna call a great game. I'm saying Dad is inferior to you and me. I was complimenting you.
I know, but Dad listens.
No,
so
if I did, come on, just roll with it. You're getting all serious shit. Come on, pull it together, man.
God.
No, but we have Sean Hockley's like the lead, the ref.
Hey,
first,
he was a kid when his dad made terrible calls. Maybe he's like, man, I owe it to the Chargers to give him a couple good
ones. Give him my best
blew it.
calling.
Yeah,
old Ed, he blew it for him. So I don't know. It goes to show this isn't a new thing. This has happened to us before.
No,
and
that's happened to everybody.
It just is what it is. So let's just pray that we can keep these penalties low on Sunday and score a whole bunch of GD touchdowns, baby.
Absolutely. Yes. I think if anybody can get this cleaned up, it's Mr. Staley. If we can run through a wall, we can also make sure that we don't go 3 yards farther than we should.
That's right.
So.
Yeah. Stop. Don't run through that.
Hey, red light.
Yep.
Green light.
Red light.
Red light.
Green light. Red light. Green light.
All right. Well, folks, there you go. That's another Charger Chat episode in the books. All done, wrapped up. Put a bow on it. Slap it and send it out to the field. All right. Well, yeah. Next on the list is a game on Sunday, folks. Kansas City Chiefs. Our main man, Uggan Duggan, will be there, screaming as loud as he can, even though there's going to be surrounded by a sea of Chiefs. Ugh.
I'm gonna get Stellan just worked up. I'm gonna teach him how to be a Charger fan. It's his first Charger game, so I'm gonna teach him how to be a Charger fan.
I expect a sign. I expect Stelly with a little sign going into the game.
Yeah,
done. He's got his new Herbo jersey. We got it the last game. You know, we're gonna get it set up. We may do some face paint. You know, it might get crazy in the Duggan house.
Yes,
sick.
And then we'll just paint the wife's belly.
There you go.
We're gonna get. I don't know. We'll see.
You're smuggling another kid into there too.
That's right.
Exactly.
All right.
So it's gonna be good.
Well, folks, can't wait to see it happen. That's gonna do it for us here at Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hey there, friend. You know, Christmas is just around the corner. You could start saving up for gifts the old-fashioned way, or you could do it the right way with Asante Layaway. Asante Layaway is the only joint in town that works with you to ensure your gifts are paid off by Christmas. Plus, get a sweet discount for every interception Asante Samuel Jr. gets. Not too shabby. So come on down to Asante Layaway and save up for your gifts today.